Welcome back to the garage, everybody. Working on the old blue Willys today. Decided to tackle all those extra holes in the dash. And so I thought I did manage to take a decent amount of pictures, and I thought I'd kind of explain the overall process along the way. So the way I usually do these is for rectangle holes, I will do, or odd shaped holes, I guess I'll say that. So rectangles, squares, whatever, non-circular. I will do a 2 or 3 layers of blue or whatever masking tape, and then over the hole. And then I will take a sharp X-Acto knife and I will cut that template out of the hole. So that makes me a sticky back template that I can put directly on the sheet metal and get to lay down flat. And then I will go through and cut that out, usually with a jigsaw, to get it close. And then I will gently and carefully sand and grind and file the edges of both the patch panel and the hole in the body, if you will, till the fit is like I want it. And I am usually going to be TIG welding most of these patches. I like doing that because with TIG welding, I can really limit the heat input generally. And then also the big one is I don't usually have to disassemble things on the interior with TIG welding because there's no spatter or spray from the torch like there is with MIG welding. And so that lets me get in a lot closer to things like seats and whatnot without having to take them out or worry about them. So I'll go in and I will TIG tack in the panel once the fit is correct. And then I will do like 1-inch segments after going over the panel with the tack welds with some hammer and dolly work if I can. If I can get to the backside, the dash wasn't too bad, so I was able to get to the back and basically level up those transitions before, during, and after the tack welding. And then usually if you get those very level during the tack welding process and you get enough tacks in there, then you can lay in those 1-inch beads of weld and not have to worry about things moving too much. I will still check with my fingers, and if I can feel an upset through like a light glove, I will go in with a hammer and dolly and try and re-level things as much as possible. This generally pays dividends when you get to the dressing phase, when you're trying to blend that weld back out. And with TIG welding, there isn't, if you're doing your job as a welder, there isn't a lot of extra bead height. You do want a positive bead, you don't want to undercut, so you have to add enough filler, but not too much. You get the feel for it pretty quickly. And basically TIG beads are typically a little bit softer than MIG beads, also in my experience. I don't exactly know why that is, but I find them a little bit easier to work. Maybe it's a heat component or something like that, or cooling, I'm not sure. But TIG welds are typically softer, and so usually you can move the metal around a little bit more. But once I get everything all welded up, I'll usually, try and work around the dash to minimize heat. I'll go, to various different things and then start the dressing process. So that's basically for odd shaped holes and that kind of thing. For round holes, what I typically do is I keep a supply of various stock sizes, so everything from about 1/4 inch up to 1 inch in round stock, and then I will use a step bit to knock the hole up to the nearest stock size, and then I cut a wafer of material off with the bandsaw, and then that is welded into the hole. So that, for me, over the years has proven to be the best way to do round holes, or things, smaller holes that you can make round with a step bit. The step bits usually will chew like a an oblong hole or something like that a lot better than a twist drill will. And so you can bump those out to a normal fractional stock size, and then make a wafer on the bandsaw, and then hold it in place. On larger ones, say 3/4 inch or up, you can usually use a small magnet. But actually, the trick I've been using lately that seems to work better is I will use a piece of 2-inch masking tape on the back of the panel and put the disc in onto that masking tape, and I will basically try to get one side flush and level, and then I will work around and get like 3 or 4 tacks depending on the size of the round that's in that hole leveled up. And the masking tape seems to just flash off out of the way, and it doesn't light on fire most of the time, some of the time, but not all the time. So you got to be careful of that, of course, but usually you can just, the adhesive gives up, you can pull it back off after the first tack, and then you can level that round disc up into the hole, just by leveraging that first tack and moving things around. And then once you get 3 or 4 tacks on it, you can go ahead and weld those round patches just like you would an odd size one. Again, I TIG them. I usually go about 1 inch or so at a time, or if the tack's over, or sorry, if the round is over about 3/4 of an inch or so, I will take a little bit more time and do like 1-inch segments. But like for 3/4 inch and under, you can usually just go around once your tacks are leveled all at once. And so once all those panels are welded in the dash, I will go through and dress everything down. And that is basically, I use an air file, which is, I was going to try and do some show and tell. I kind of cleaned up and put things away, but anyways, so I use an air file, which is one of these, to dress down the proudness of the weld. And that's really good because it's narrow, it's quick. You're just doing a pass to knock down the high spots and keep the tool moving around. You're not like digging it into the panel or everything, and you're just going over those seams trying to get everything knocked down. And then I will go over with a 2-inch right angle air grinder with a roll lock. So these are, I don't know if I can do this on the, so these are screw on, roll lock, and I like those because they're very quick and easy to replace. I can change grits very quickly. And one of the things I found that's really important with this is change your sanding disc more often. If I don't know if this will show up, but more often than you think you would, to keep that nice, sharp, toothy sanding that's removing material without building a lot of heat. And you want to move around and you want to, feel and look, and you're not trying to dig the tool in. But that sharp sanding surface will remove material without building as much heat. And so then basically you'll go in and you will just dress down till you start getting close where you get those you'll get little dark spots where there's a low spot. And you don't want to like dig the tool in and try and carve that out to make it look shiny. Once you get to that phase, you want to go in and then just with, simple hammer and dolly set, if you can get access, basically come in and try and raise that bit up, and then go through and dress all those down. So basically what you end up with once you get done is a nice toothy, and you can see like some of these I won't dig in quite as much. This one has just like a little feather in it of where the weld was still, and I just try not to dig into everything, but you can see how generally nice those turn out. I do have to go. So there's another, this was the stereo hole, and there was a for the knob here, and there's one underneath here. So when I take the cage off, I'll have to fix this last little hole there. But overall, 90% there, and was only about a day of work to fix all those holes. I kind of went a little bit over the top, and I did fix I think some of the factory ones too, because I just wanted to start with a clean sheet of paper. I did leave this one because it's, I don't know if you can see that or not, it's one of the pressed versions. So to remove that, I would have to cut out a larger hole and patch it. So I'm going to leave that one for now and see if I can find something. Maybe that'll be the key or something like that. But you can see all the holes that I patched, and there was little ones in the bottom of the dash and whatever. But that's how I patch holes in sheet metal. And I'm no expert, but it does work for me. And I think if you're kind of patient and you have a few of the right tools, it goes pretty easy and pretty quick. So thanks for following along on the Old Blue Willys. If you have any questions on this, drop a comment below. And if you like this kind of stuff, thumbs up, and there's a bell, and you can subscribe, and we're doing a whole bunch of videos, and hopefully you like this stuff. So thanks for following along. We'll catch you on the next one.